Welcome to Writing Daily, the show that discusses everything that it takes and everything I'm doing to lead the writer's life. It's scary, frustrating, challenging, and at the end of the day, the goal is to keep writing daily. So for those who don't know, my name is Devin Galladay. I'm the editor-in-chief of In the Know Traveler, as well as the author of the forthcoming memoir, 10,000 Miles with My Dead Father's Ashes. And so what's happening today? Today's topic is kind of about resistance, not so much in the sense that I'm not doing work. It's that really I don't want to do any work. So it's kind of, it's what's happening in my life now. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. Anyway, in general, if you like what I'm doing, please consider hitting the like button. If you are not watching me live, know that you can subscribe to me on iTunes and YouTube and a whole variety of places, Stitcher included, and Google Play and all those kinds of fun things. So before I get started, I wanted to read from a book that I absolutely love. And if you're a writer, I highly recommend it. It is called The War of Art, which is a play on words from The Art of War. Sun Tzu. This is totally, it's in the ballpark. Anyway, it's written by Steven Pressman. It's an excellent book, and I kind of want to read from the beginning paragraph, in part because I want you to hear it, in part because I need to hear it. And by the way, Lauren, good to see you. I hope you are happy and well. So it starts out saying, what I do: I get up, take a shower, have breakfast. I read the paper, brush my teeth. I have phone calls to make. I make them. I've got my coffee now. I put my lucky workbooks and stitch up the lucky laces that my niece Meredith gave me. I head back to my office, crank up the computer. My lucky hooded sweatshirt is draped over the chair with the lucky charm I got from a gypsy in Sainte-Marie de la Mer for only $8 in francs. That sounds like a deal. And my lucky Largo name tag that came from a dream I once had, I put it on. On my thesaurus is my lucky cannon that my friend Bob gave me from Morro Castle, Cuba. I point it towards my chair so it can fire inspiration into me. I say my prayer, which is an invocation of the muse of Homer's Odyssey, translation by T.E. Lawrence of Arabia, which my dear friend Paul Rank gave me, which sits near my shelf with the cufflinks that belong to my father and my lucky acorn from the battlefield at Thermopylae. Boy, did I butcher that one. It's about 10:30 now. I sit down and plunge in. When I start making typos, I know I'm getting tired. That's 4 hours or so. I've hit the point of diminishing returns. I wrap up for the day, copy whatever I've done to disk, and stash the disk in my glove compartment of my truck in case there's a fire and I have to make a run for it. I power down. It's 3:30. The office is closed. How many pages have I produced? I don't care. Are they any good? I don't even think about it. All that matters is that I've put in time and hit it with all I've got. All that counts is that for this day, for this session, I have overcome resistance. And then he continues to say, what I know. There's a secret that real writers know that wannabe writers don't. And the secret is this: it's not the writing part that's hard. What's hard is sitting down to write. What keeps us from sitting down is resistance. And so I have a little bit of that because honestly, I just have a lot going on. We're sort of like down to the wire. The book, I think, is probably going to the printer's office, which is kind of an exciting thing. And it's also a little threatening because every single word that I said, it's fine. People will like it or they don't. And maybe I'll get hate mail or I don't or whatever. And all of that stuff has been kind of weird. And by the way, welcome, Robert. And so it's this experience where all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is a real thing. It's part of the goal of what it is to be a writer. And I've had some feelings about it. And the good news is I know a bunch of writers. So I wrote a couple of them who sort of like talk me down from a tree for a little bit. But I also want to say what else was going on in my week, which is I had conversations with 4 lawyers, which, by the way, speaking to any lawyer, just the concept of it is like draining. It's a draining, exhausting thing to just talk to any lawyer. If you're a lawyer, I love you. I'm sure it's great. And it's sort of an exhausting venture. I have to rebuild my site to accommodate the book and the things that I'm going to be doing with it. I've also written probably about 25 different people who are going to help with the launch in some capacity or another. I wrote at least, I would say, a good 1,000 words, maybe about 1,250 words in the last couple of days. And I'm happy with those words. I've also been adding new content to iTunes, my personal site, and it's the middle of summer. It's like really, really hot outside. And so what I'm kind of coming across is just all of the reasons and excuses of why this is, why it's too hard. And what I have to remind myself is, I have put up, in a previous incarnation before I wrote, I used to put in roofs, with the tar and the nail and the heat on top of a roof in the middle of the noonday sun. And it's really challenging. So I guess what's happening is it's all relative. So I'm at this relative state of where the book is being developed and I still have the rest of my life going on a day-to-day basis. And it's challenging. That's what it is. But the good news is that there is sort of like, I think, a chapter that is closing. In other words, the actual bookishness, the editorial part of it is closing down. And I think that's important to understand that if you're getting your book published now, you're going to run into that. Like, no matter how you slice it, at some point, you're going to wake up one day and they're like, well, yeah, we're sending it to the printer. And there you have it. By the way, good to see you, Max. I hope that you are happy and well. And as always, if you like what I'm doing, please consider hitting the like button or asking a question and touch base. Let me know where you're at, where your own writing is at. Because that's what we do. We kind of support each other on this particular thing, which, by the way, when I talk about I'm writing, I wrote about 1,250 good words this week. I'm probably up to about 15,000 words, which puts me at about 1/6 or 1/7 how much I want to kind of get done for that initial first draft. And it is a complicated process of just making sure, as Stephen A. Pressman was describing, is sitting down and getting it done. And there really is no other way around it. Like, we play all kinds of games. I had a conversation today with, not today, but yesterday, I had a conversation with a buddy who was just looking for writing prompts and things to do. And one of the things that he talked about is this idea that we try to do it perfectly. And when we try to do it perfectly, we're probably not going to sit down at all out of sort of the kind of pressure that we put on ourselves. And he told me this story that I hadn't heard before. I'm probably going to butcher it a little bit, but I'm going to try my best to relay it to you. And it's the story of this Buddhist monk, and he had this one glass and he loved the glass and he passed it around and he shared it with everybody and everybody got to drink from the glass and he was really proud of it and he sort of honored this glass. And one of his students said, well, but aren't you worried every time you pass around this glass and let other people break it, or give them a chance to break it, eventually it's going to get broken? And he goes, no, I've already planned for it to be broken. It's already broken in my mind. So every day that it doesn't break, I get to cherish it and I get to have that experience. And so I think part of what I'm describing in the resistance that I have in my own writing, in my own process, and doing that when I've got 10 million other things going on, is that I already know when I sit down, I'm going to mess it up. Like when Stephen A. Pressman in the book that I was just mentioning says that he's going to stop when he's doing typos, I start writing typos. Like, first word one is going to have a typo in it. That's almost for sure. So I know that when I sit down, and much like the glass, I'm broken a little bit too. So that means I have to muddle through and accept the fact that I'm just going to do it. And there's a story in there that needs to be told. So I'm just going to keep writing and writing and writing. I hope you are doing the same. So anyway, I think that's what I've got for today. My book recommendation for now is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Pressfield. I think I said Pressman, and I apologize in the outside chance that he's seeing this. It's Stephen Pressfield. It's a very, very popular book. It's not a secret, but it's an excellent, excellent read. And if you are having challenges in kind of sitting down, this book is all about making sure that you give yourself every opportunity and sit down and set an egg timer or use writing prompts or get your friends to help you and just get it done. As always, if you like what I'm doing, feel free to subscribe to me, even rate me on iTunes. I'm also on YouTube. And by the way, the book is coming out, and I've redesigned page 1 on devingalladay.com/dad. That's something that I always put in there. And we're going to be doing a fun kind of giveaway. So if you buy the book, 10,000 Miles with My Dead Father's Ashes, you're going to get access to a whole bunch of other free stuff. It's just kind of an opportunity and sort of like a fun thing that I hope that you're going to like. And if you're sort of like somebody who has like free ebooks and things like that you offer subscribers and things, let me know. And if it's a fit, then we will use that here as well. Anyway, Debbie, thank you for showing up. And as always, for everybody, consider hitting the like button so I know that I'm doing the right thing, and always leave a comment. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will talk to you all again real soon.